time here as we kind of turn the page on the Packers, get you primed up for the Titans, and here to do it, man. We're sneaking it all in today. It's Tuesday. It's the rodeo day. My guy, TD, Turron Davenport, checking in here on the Football Playbook, making his debut. TD, what's up?
Hey, what's going on, man?
Oh, man, I'll tell you what. I miss seeing you here up in the Northeast. It's been quite a while since we've crossed paths, and you're down there in Tennessee now covering the Titans, and it's been quite a few years, actually. How many years has it been for you?
I've been here this is my 5th season. Yeah.
Man, time flies, dude.
It's fast.
Yeah. So, all right, well, buckle up. We only got a small window here. I wanted to talk to you about the Titans. Obviously, the Eagles are soaring high, 10-1. The Titans, though, to me, I feel like Mike Vrabel has done more with less than just about any other head coach. A heartbreaker against the Bengals this past week. Let's start off, though, with the big storyline here in Philadelphia. A.J. Brown, coming off of not his best performance, has been a little bit injury-riddled, dealing with the flu, has had a case of fumbleitis, but, man, he's probably been licking his chops since August or since the schedule was announced to play this game. How big of a deal is it in Tennessee?
You know, it's a big deal with the fans, but in talking to some of the coaches and some of the players, they're looking at it where they're excited to go back and face AJ. But this team collectively, this Eagles team collectively is full of talent. And that's what they're recognizing. Jalen Hurts and Miles Sanders, man, these guys combined for over 300 yards rushing. So that's what they're focused on. And obviously, A.J. Brown is going to be a big factor, a big part of their preparation. And they're looking forward to seeing a guy that they spent a lot of time with, you know, over the past 3 years. But it's a big picture process that they're taking.
Well, you mentioned, you know, the Hurts-Miles Sanders duo. Of course, you know, they had 500 yards of total offense, 300 of it coming on the ground via Miles Sanders and Jalen Hurts. But my understanding is the Titans have one of the feistiest run defenses, if not one of the top run defenses. So how do they stack up, and how do you think that will match up this weekend?
Yeah, you talk about feisty, and I think if you look it up in the dictionary, number 51, David Long Jr. will be standing there like this because that is exactly what he plays, like he's on fire, literally. I love watching him play. He's sideline to sideline. They blitz him. He comes in, and I'm talking about jumping through holes, jumping into offensive linemen to bang them out the way so someone else can make the tackle. So really for the run defense, it starts up front with Teair Tart and Jeffrey Simmons. These guys getting that instant pressure and getting behind that instant penetration and making the running back at the very least have to reroute his direction to the line of scrimmage, and that allows other guys to come in. Then you look at Kevin Strong they have. You look at Larrell Murchison, they put him in there sometimes. Mario Edwards Jr., they use him. I mean, they go deep. DeMarcus Walker. Now, Danico Autry is, in my opinion, 1B to Jeffrey Simmons, 1A. He's probably going to be out, and that's really going to hurt them. But then you got Bud Dupree also playing the run. Like, they have waves and waves and waves. Rashad Weaver, the Pitt product. They have waves and waves and waves of guys up front able to, you know, get into the backfield. And then their linebacker play is very solid. Dylan Cole is a reserve backer that he is, you know, we're talking about a D2 guy, but he came in and he's made a presence, also very sound tackler. Then they're also sound tackling in the secondary. You wouldn't think that after watching last week's game, but that was an anomaly. Amani Hooker's normally a good tackler. He missed like 3 or 4 last week. But then you also look at their cornerbacks, Christian Fulton, Roger McCreary. They're willing tacklers. And Kevin Byard, in my opinion, is a top 3 safety in football. So, and he's a Philly guy. You know, he's originally from the 215 and then moved to Atlanta. So he's looking forward to going home.
A Philly guy, a Middle Tennessee State guy, much like our Reed Blankenship now, who's been into the starting role. So very, very in-depth, thorough, quick rundown there on the defense. You covered a lot. Let me ask you about the opposite end of the spectrum, because the Eagles have struggled mightily stopping the run to the point where they had to go and pick up Linville Joseph and Ndamukong Suh off the street.
Yeah.
And they've kind of shorted up a little bit, but Derrick Henry is as good as it comes. Now, might have lost a step or two coming off that injury, but he's still a big boy, still capable of breaking off big explosive plays. Is this a ground and pound attack for the Titans as they come into this matchup?
Oh, well, that's what they're going to look to do. I mean, their style of play, their formula for winning is to run the football successfully and stop other teams from doing it. So rest assured, that's their idea. They're going to try to run the ball. The problem has been the last couple of weeks, Ben Jones wasn't playing. He's their starting center. And you look at just some numbers, right? Derrick Henry was getting hit 0.8 yards after getting the football. You know what I mean? And you can't have that. That's something that simply means that he's getting hit in the backfield. And a big back like Derrick Henry, who needs that momentum getting to the line of scrimmage, that's what makes him so difficult to stop. When that happens, you know, there's breakdowns in the rushing attack. And then what you saw last week with the Bengals, you know, they're covering everything, you know, bare fronts. Their linebackers are filling gaps. And they also use Mike Hilton to blitz off of the nickel spot. So that's something that I would imagine the Eagles might look at doing, you know, blitzing their nickel back. And that's important to do. But when that happens, you got to be able to pick that up and, you know, see him coming and check to something else. And that's something that the Titans haven't really done. But, yeah, they'll try to run the football by all means.
Yeah, the Eagles are in a little bit of a shaky spot right now with the nickel. Avonte Maddox is out. They've been playing Josiah Scott there in that role. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson also out now.
Yeah.
And so, you know, not sure how much of a blitz presence they'll have on this given Sunday, but my understanding is, and I've seen Treylon Burks kind of heating up in recent weeks, but again, I'm watching from a distance. This is why we have you on. You tell us. It sounds like the Titans, though, are struggling inside the red zone in terms of converting touchdowns. Is that an issue this year for Tennessee?
Overall, no. But against the Bengals, very much so. They're 0 for 3. And if you lose a game by 4 points, the one thing you could point to is 0 for 3 in the red zone. That's what you could point to. You know, and they have to shore that up. Typically, they're a very good team in the red zone. They were, in fact, I believe they were number one in red zone touchdown scoring percentage coming into last Sunday's game. So it hasn't been an overall issue. And it's funny because, you know, Dontrell Hilliard, he leads the team in touchdown receptions with 4.
I saw that, yeah.
But he was the guy that, you know, was really getting a lot of those red zone opportunities for them. And you're starting to see teams drop a safety down as opposed to a linebacker against them. And it's funny, I told him, I said, each week you're the mismatch going against a linebacker, but teams are adjusting. So that is something that we'll see how that continues to happen against the Eagles.
No, it's cool to see his development as a player. Again, Vrabel does more. Like Nick Westbrook, he's developed this guy.
Yeah.
You know, let me ask you, I wanted to ask you another quick question here. Oh, I'm running out of time and I lost my thought process. But, man, there's so many different directions I wanted to go. It'll come back to me. Let me ask you this. 6.5, last time I checked, the Eagles were favored. How do you see it playing out? And I'll see if I can recollect my memory.
I think it's going to be tough. I want to see how this defense is without Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. I mean, he's a guy that was generating a lot of turnovers. What, 6 picks he had, or at least 5, something like that. So I think the Titans can come in and run the football, but it's going to really be critical, you know, with Ben Jones coming off of that concussion. They're going to need him in there, and they have to run the football to take this crowd out. So 6.5, I think, is a decent spread. I think that the Eagles win, you know, along the lines like 23-20, something like that.
Yeah, I'm with you. I did remember the question. We only have like 60 seconds or so, but I'm curious to get your thoughts. Small body of work. Malik Willis did get a little run there. Is that the guy of the future? Did you see what you liked from the short body of work?
There were some throws that he made that make you like, yeah, okay, yeah, he's uber talented. But I think it's a work in progress. He has to start believing what he's seeing and letting it rip. It's different in the league as opposed to at Liberty as far as like what's open and what's actually open, you know, the windows. So I think that's going to be the major adjustment for him. But definitely showed the talent, the wherewithal, you know, to be in there, command the huddle, make checks and things like that, and showed improvement from one week to the other.
All right, good to know. Tell the listening audience at home what you have on deck, content-wise, where to find all the great content, and always appreciate the time, TD.
Yeah, for sure. We got a Traylon Burks story posted about his emergence. That'll be on ESPN.com. You could always at T Davenport _NFL on Twitter. If you search Google Podcasts, iTunes, Spotify, Talking with TD, we break down the game that the Titans just played, the upcoming one, and I got former Titans receiver Chris Sanders on, and we talk shop. We have a good time. You guys will like that a lot. And also Whiteboard Wednesday. You catch that on ESPN.com. I'm gonna draw a little something up, just what I think the Eagles or Titans should do. So we'll have that for you as well.
Of course you are breaking it down, X's and O's style. Are you going to be in Philly this weekend?
Absolutely. Yeah, I get in Friday night, so I'm talking to youth at the detention center there on 2nd and Mars. So I'm looking forward to that, and no doubt.
Good shit, man. Appreciate the time, TD, man. Let us know if you need anything while you're in town, and hopefully we can do this in February. It'll be Titans and Eagles in the Super Bowl. We shall see.
Yeah, for sure. I know. Real quick, I know you're a Jersey guy. Rutgers cornerback Trey Avery.
Yeah,
he's doing his thing, man.
Yes, thank you for that. You know, I love that. Yeah, appreciate that. Turron, he knows me too well. We got to sign off and say goodbye. We're up against it. The super producer, Tone DeShields II, is telling me